Three, two, one. No, we're live. Google's fast. It is the Martin Fowler Scrum. It's a Friday, just before the holidays, and Brent and Sam are here. Yes, Brent, what have you been working on, and is anything daring to block you?
No, actually, I'm now unblocked after a really good local support meeting yesterday evening.
Yay!
So yeah, the plan for today is I've got some last-minute changes I want to make to my homework 5. So I'll hopefully get those finished. Then I'm going to try and finish the click-through PR, which is now which I'm now unblocked on. So that I should be able to make some progress on that. We've got the MOOC call at 3, which I'll be attending, and if there's an async voter call, I will attend that as well.
Great.
If we've got time at the end of the Scrum, though, I just wanted to ask you a question about GitHub, about the merge button you mentioned in local support yesterday.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, we certainly try and talk about that. Great stuff. Thanks, Brent. Bill's also does. Bill is here.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Hi,
Bill.
Oh, mate.
Good stuff. Good to see you. Anything to report? Anything getting in the way of your progress?
No, I finished. Was it? What did I do yesterday? Oh, I had that. Obviously, what Brent was just talking about. I had that.
Acceptance test, unit test, cycle assignment.
Yeah. I had submitted that and got a really crappy score.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I did. I got 66, so that's why I need to make some changes.
I got less than that. There's in the error messages. There's some scenarios been added where it's looking for a homepage plus rotten potatoes homepage or something. It's completely thrown all the errors out.
Well, I don't know if you got this, Bill, but one thing that, and maybe we can talk about this later anyway, so apologies, but one thing I noticed was it tells me that all my cucumber tests had passed, and then it goes through and tells me why they failed.
Yeah. Well, it seems to do the whole set 3 times or something.
Yeah.
Time they all pass, then it seems to run the whole set twice more. And each iteration, the first 2 scenarios pass, but the third scenario has been changed. In which it's looking for the homepage, it's looking for the homepage or the Rotten Tomatoes homepage. And because that path hasn't been defined, just the homepage, it completely throws it all out of whack.
I think that particular issue is an outstanding error. And I've been through that with Rose, and it's a frustrating one. And we do actually have a fix for it, which maybe we can roll out later today. But yeah, there is it's to do with changes in the way that the routing stuff works from, I think, default and to like the latest version of things. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a very frustrating error, but I think we can definitely get to the bottom of that in the session today, because we've definitely seen that before.
All right, so save me having to waste because I've been playing around with it at the moment, trying to figure out how to work around it. Made a few more submissions, but I just get the same error again.
Yeah, well, maybe we can maybe we can look at that at the end of the Scrum to maybe unblock you and just
leave it late. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh well, entirely up to you. I mean, I can maybe just show you, rather than necessarily going the full unblock, I can at least show you what we identified as causing the problem.
All right. No.
All right. Yeah. So that's Bill's report. Let's go on to me. I have not got as much as I'd like to have done this morning. I have continued to work through the premium member lists, and we definitely need this adjustment to the domain model, which I haven't yet done. I sort of started on it today and was sort of prodding around with it, but I didn't really make as much progress as I would like. Yes, good local support meeting yesterday. Great to unblock Brent there. Fantastic. Brent, that seems you're enjoying the oh gosh, what's it called? The podcast. You posted some lovely thoughts in the general channel there earlier today.
Yeah, I think I'm going to actually, maybe if you could send me the link later, because I had a quick look on LeanPub, but I couldn't find the actual book. So, but I think I might actually buy the book to read, because it does sound quite interesting. Yeah,
I think it is an interesting book. Definitely good show. And then I guess nothing blocking me, so I'm just going to need to carve out a chunk of time, maybe tomorrow morning, to just like finish up all the bits and pieces that I have to do, which is like the month's report and oh, I've got to build all these Spocks for this clones of the MOOC for private instructors around the world, or ones working in universities. But yeah, what have we got coming up? Subsequently, we've got the React mob at the top of the hour. Then we've got the MOOC mob 2 hours after that, and async voter meeting. So that's our Scrum. Yes, shame that you've run into that issue there, Bill. I wonder if we can just so I think that the I was saying Rose, who you met in one of our meetings, encountered the same issue previously, and I think it's like we found ultimately that we could fix it just by changing the order of the routes in the routes.rb file. The particular thing about it is that what happens when this grader operates is it takes the stuff that you've submitted and then it merges it with like a kind of existing rotten potatoes that has various bits and pieces in it. Then so like it's like going for this homepage or whatever that actually doesn't exist in your local code, but does exist on the server. I guess maybe actually the perhaps a simpler thing to do would be for me to deploy the fix, and then you don't have to worry about. That's maybe probably the best way to go, given that you've encountered that issue. Is let me now deploy the fix, and I'll let you know when it's done, and then maybe you can resubmit and see if it all gives you a more sensible output. Maybe that's the way to go.
Number of times you can resubmit.
I'm sorry again. Say again.
Is there a limit to the number of times you can resubmit?
Nope, no limit whatsoever.
I've done it quite a few already.
Oh yeah, no. I mean that there's no limit. The only caveat is that the edX always takes your last submission, so it doesn't take your highest highest scoring. It always takes the one that you've done. So some people have got in trouble when there were hard deadlines, which there isn't really anymore. There's one big hard deadline at the end now for getting your certificate rolled. But basically, if you had like lots of great 100% scores, and then 30 seconds before the certificates were about to roll, that you submitted just as a kind of, oh, what would happen if I did this, and it broke and it got a 0, then you'd lose all the credit for your previous submissions, if that makes any sense. But there's no limit on the number of times that you can submit.
All right.
In the system at the moment, I guess what I want to do is I want to pull up immediately, and it's annoying. I've got all these different versions of C9, and I've got them now on different accounts and things. Have I got one? I think I've got an account over here. I guess let's just go to one over here. Here we go. C9. We'll go to C9. While I'm kind of going to find the right place. Brent, you also had a question about the merge button.
Yeah, so I want to do a merge, and I don't know whether I should follow the process I have already been doing, or whether I can just use that button. I don't know if really, because I've not used that as my process or workflow up to this point. Am I best just to continue just using Rebase, or am I okay just to use that on GitHub?
I think you're probably okay to switch and get into that. I mean, if using the button on GitHub will basically do a merge instead of a rebase.
Right. Okay.
Right. And so you could be doing that merge locally.
I could. Yeah.
Just pull down the develop branch and make sure that you've got that, and then merge the develop branch in. The interesting thing about the rebase is it always creates a new commit thing that's then kind of in a different history. So that's why you've got this extended big long path of things.
Okay, yeah.
And they can't easily be erased having done them on that branch. I mean, you could kind of create a new branch and cherry pick out the bits and all of those.
No, I'm not that worried about that. It's just that I'd like to get into good practice sort of sooner than later. Yeah. So I just wasn't sure whether or not switching the process would upset things.
I don't think it'll make it any worse than it currently is, and it might make it easier. I mean, what would be interesting, and I think you could probably try further combinations of all three, like local rebase, local merge via the button and pulling it down, and see the different effects that you get, and ultimately it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thanks.
So I'm just trying to pull out here. Oh, go on. Why can't I? for some reason, like it's got itself here. Oh, there you go. All right. Okay, now we can actually see this. This is our workspace that from later on. So we've got there's a rotten potato. All I wanted here was to grab the roots file. This one here. Yeah, and so I think it. Have you made any modifications to your roots file, Bill?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah, and so I think that's the thing that was.
I added
Go on.
I added a root because I mean, I added a
similar. What's it?
To map a movie's director to the action. What's it called?
Right.
So basically, I got a get which says /movies, then I got /ID /director. That goes to the movie's action, which I then do an alias. Is it you call it an alias as the name of the method, which is similar movies. That's the last route. So the two you've got there, I've got those two. Then my own customers.
Yeah. So I've got the same, but I did my one straight after resources movie, and I think I might be getting a different. I don't think I get the same error as you, Bill.
Okay, so that's what's thrown.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing that can end up making a difference there. What I will also do is, given that you've encountered the error, Bill, I'll try and deploy the fix to the grader. I was being hesitant about that, but I'm just trying to see if I can pull up, because I did have in this other workspace like precisely the change. But yeah, we can obviously that's already something for you to experiment with, Bill, and I'll deploy that fix and let you know when it's gone out. So
okay. Yes. I mean, I don't understand where it came up with the additional scenarios. Those are
well, and I think what it's doing there is it's trying to simulate this situation of you working on a legacy app, and where you're adding a feature, and then it's kind of sort of indicating, all right, but here are some other features that other people have had, and I think what it's what it's trying to achieve, and I think unfortunately the complexity and various things, like, it ends up slipping up, is it's trying to simulate the situation where the thing that you worked on had an unexpected side effect, perhaps, on other stuff that other people were doing, but it does it rather clumsily and confusingly, if that makes any sense. I'm just going to find I wonder if I could. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I had a version of it where we were. What did we get? This was the dirty, that one. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to find. Yeah, somewhere around I'll have that. But so what it is that the version in the grader that it's sort of merging with has a in the public directory, it has this index.html thing that you may not have locally, and it ends up with one of the paths hitting that, and then it sees that instead of what it's expected to see, and then it gets all confused, if that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Let me go and deploy the fix to the grader, which might do it, and yeah, we'll get into it all in more detail in the MOOC mob. All
right. Cheers.
Cool. Good stuff. All right. Thanks, everyone. And we've got a viewer. Hey, viewer, and find out more about us at agileVentures.org. You could join these scrums and say hello and tell us about things that you're working on. Bye for now. Take care.
I'll see you both later then.
Yeah. Cheers. Speak to you later. Cheers.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.